Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from Wichita, Kansas, it's our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and none other than our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Look, I got your names right. I'm so happy. So I know everybody's going to be surprised because I'm actually not matching my headphones. I got a tan this weekend. It was really fun. You know what else is really, really fun? Winning free PCs! God, that was much louder than I thought it would be. So, we've got two different giveaways that we're doing with right now, and they're amazing. Both of them happen to be Intel builds, and there's multiple ways to get extra entries to see if you might win it. Now, the first one, if you type exclamation giveaway in the chat, you'll see two different links. The first one is to our MTSIM. It is our Star Citizen giveaway, and it's absolutely incredible. It comes with this beautiful computer, 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a 4060 Ti in it, and then you're going to get the flight chair, two joystick mounts, two swivel and quick release adapters, and two mouse extensions for the desk mount. And then you'll get 4 different ships in Star Citizen. Plus, you're going to get an alpha left and an alpha right prime grip, and a Warbird BD flash stick and rudder pedals. Now, that is a massive package, especially for anybody who loves flight on any way, shape, or form. Now, the other thing that you can do while flying is fly a spaceship. And that is for our Intel giveaway with our friends over at Star Wars Outlaws, which comes out on August 30th. And this is going to be over in 8 days, so make sure you get everything in there. It's a Intel Core i5, 14700 KF. You've got, again, 32 gigs of RAM. We've got a 4070 in there, and D30 Fantex fans, let's be fair, those D30s are lovely. Now, everybody wants to know how you do this. You're going to go to that by clicking the links and follow the instructions. There is going to be a spot where you can enter codes. Codes are so fun. This is how it's going to happen on the CLX side of the shows. It is Tuesdays. We're going to be dropping them here on the green side. On Thursdays, we're going to be dropping them on the purple side. If you don't know what those two are, I'm concerned. So, when you see them, remember, if it says MTSM, RSI, or VPRL, that is going to be for the Star Citizen giveaway. If it says SWOL, SWOL, or INTL, that means it's for Star Wars. And SWOL doesn't mean like beefy. SWOL means Star Wars Outlaws. So, there we go. With that being said, we have got a great show ahead of you with one of our custom designed Vice PC cases, which I love. It's super cute. But it's for our friend Scott in Colorado. Paul, what are we shoving in that thing?
All right, so Scott has custom configured a RAW off our website. So starting out with the processor, we've got an AMD Ryzen 9 7950X3D. To cool that, we've got a Fantex D30 360 Glacier 1 AIO in white. For our motherboard, we've got the Asus ROG Strix X670E-E gaming Wi-Fi. And for our memory, we have 2 sticks of G.Skill 32GB DDR5 5600 speed. This is the black with the RGB heat spreader, so a total of 64 gigs of RAM there. For our storage drive, we've got a 2TB Samsung 990 Pro NVMe M.2 drive. Obviously, our case is this 011 white Vice edition. For our fans, we've got 10 of our Fantex D30 fans. We really love these fans. We're excited to use them again on the show. They've got some unique things about them that we will talk about a little bit later. And then for our power supply, we've got a Corsair 1000 watt 80 plus platinum fully modular. And last but not least, our video card, we've got a Radeon RX 7900 XTX.
Nice. Awesome. So we'll get this started out here, which is going to be great. Now, we have a bunch of different custom designs because, look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
We got great designers who just decide, you know what, we're going to do something cool, and that's what we call doing something cool. If you take a look through all of our different size models on our website, you're going to see lots of different options for designs, which is super, super awesome. This is, again, one of the, this is an, oh, no. It's not an 11. What am I thinking of? This is the yeah, that is an 011, but it's a XL. So this is like mine. Nope. This actually has different base. What are some great features about this case?
Yeah, so there's quite a few cool things we like about this case. One, the airflow is going to be great. We're going to have it full of fans. Then this back side here, we've got a lot of room for cable management, extra storage drives. Our power supply is going to go back here. And I think this case just looks great.
Yeah. Plus, you can see those little black boxes right there. Why don't you tell people what those are about real quick?
Yes, so those are for our extra storage drive options. Now we just have the M.2 drive that this customer picked out. So these will be open and ready for them to use. You can fit 2.5 inch and 3.5 inch drives in here. So a total of 4 options right there.
Nice. Great. All right, now if you guys hear some sort of a terminology that you're just not familiar with, my recommendation is ask a question. You can't go wrong asking questions. Trust me, I know, because I ask a lot of them. Big shout out and hello to everybody over on the kick side. We've got Violent Echo, the Cosmic Wolf, Mason Bluegrass. Welcome in. Famex, Missorum. On the purple side, we've already got our friends Bearded Fellow, Zulu Charlie, and of course, Queso Goblins in the house. J-Bone Cut over on the red side. We've got Jordan SL on TikTok. What's up, dog? Jordan says, hi, guys. Looking forward to winning it.
Good luck.
Well, you know what? Everybody's got that chance. And, of course, hello to our friends over on Facebook. Now, every PC starts with your baseline, and that's going to be the motherboard. So for this, Scott's chosen a Asus ROG Strix X670E gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. It's wrapped in a lot of plastic. Not only does this have great heat shields on it, especially with a very unique piping system for the M.2 slot, it also has lots of stickers. But it also has one great thing, and that is, look at that design on the back. I love it! Love it! I dig it. Now, if you take a look at the front, talk about it, Zach. I know you want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we got the
button.
What is
that thing? Button? What's the button?
The button is a quick release for our graphics card so that we can easily install our super awesome 79 XTX.
Nice. Which means you don't have to reach in there with chopsticks to try and pop it out if you ever need to remove it. That's literally how I do it now, except for the button. So let's go over some of the cool things about this board right now. And first of all, let's talk about the inputs. If you're a gamer, if you're a content creator, if you're doing both from one machine, having the ability to hook in all of your peripherals is super important. So let's start at the very top. We have got DisplayPort and our HDMI, obviously. Then down there on the bottom, we're going to go down to the bottom below the LAN port. That USB-C right there is your 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, which means you got 10 gigs up and down. Every other red port you see on there is USB 3. It's USB 3.2 Gen 2. It's awesome. Now, why is this important? Because that's mass connectivity and data flow. You've also got a 2.5 gig LAN port on there, and you've got your Wi-Fi plus your sound and your CMOS reset buttons. Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, this board is gorgeous, and you know me, I'm a huge fan of all the heat sinks. So when we get to the M.2, we're gonna point out something that's really fun. Alrighty. So as for our processor, let's take a look at what we've got popped out right now. We've got a Ryzen 9 7950 X3D processor. Paul, this was an awesome processor. How would you describe it? Tell us some of the cool things about it.
Yes, this is a very high-end top-line processor here. It's a 16-core, 32-thread processor with a base speed of 4.2, and it will boost all the way up to 5.7. So this thing's going to handle anything you throw at it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, while Paul gets out some fans, we're going to go over a couple basics when it comes to prepping an AIO. So there's multiple parts that come in these AIO boxes. How do you know which one goes with which, Zach?
So a lot of companies will have a very nice manual that has everything labeled. I highly recommend keeping that. And then these guys all have labeled on the baggies themselves, so I just need to make sure I get out the right ones.
Fantastic. Awesome. Now, once you put the brackets on the back, things get a little more fun. We'll get into that in just a second. Somebody asked, what about buffoonery? I'm going to be honest. Story of my life. You know, there you go. Y'all got me on a PC for like $20. Hey, listen. There we go. A lot of GTA's Vice City build. We call it Vice. Just because sometimes those colors are a vice. There we go. Yes. What's up, Whitey? Need to upgrade soon? Yes. I hear you. I hear you. I'm actually about to purchase another PC from CLX because the streaming rig is... She's on her last leg.
Don't lie, DJ. You just want one for the boys.
I had to restart it 4 times this morning. That's why I was late getting onto the call. It just keeps pausing for some reason. I don't understand. But yes. But granted, this is an old. I mean, I'm still on DDR3 RAM on this one. It needs an upgrade. But white messages. Bottlenecking on my 1080 Ti on new gen games is my problem. Ooh, yeah. I can see that. Using it to stream is still somewhat of a hassle, but doable. So I'm running a Ryzen 5 3600X with 16 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1070 plus my capture card from Media. It's worked fine for a long time, but now it's finally showing signs of it needs to be put to bed. Now, speaking of things being put places, let's talk about the putting down your AIO. Now, I missed the part where we were going to talk about the thermal paste.
Already installed, pre-installed.
Yep. But this is a really great AIO. So for this is a Fantex Glacier 1 360 D30. Now, these are great because they get to use these new D30 fans. Paul, walk us through why these fans are awesome, and trust me, these fans are lit.
Yes, I'm actually getting some of our fans ready for this build. As you can see, I've got the fan in my hand. There's no cables coming out of it. That is what is special about these fans. So they have clips that come together. You can see there's usually a little tag for the input. That's what that is telling us. And then there's an output as well. So they all clip together. That way whenever we get a section, so like on this AIO, we're going to have 3 of them. There's only going to be 2 cables coming off of each fan. So that's really nice. The other thing that is special about these fans is you can get them in a couple different orientations. So typically when we talk about fans, you know that the fan is exhausting when you're looking at the fan grill. Well, these D30 fans, they don't want you to see the grill in your build, so you can get a reverse flow. That way you never get to see this grill and you always get the pretty side of your fan. So if you'll notice these 2 fans here, they're obviously both D30s, but you can see the pitch of the blades is different.
Yeah, very different.
And so this one, our exhaust is going to be out the grill, and on this one, our exhaust is going to be out the open area. So we will put these in the build. That way you won't even see a grill to your fan, and everything's going to look really nice.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I do want to point out that we did get a question earlier from Ivory about what code is. It goes INTL-IFIV, and that is, of course, worth 100 extra entries into the Star Wars Outlaws PC giveaway. Once again, that is INTL, short for International Dash Indigo, Foxtrot, Indigo, Victor. Nice. Now, from a cable management standpoint, how important is having that type of connectivity between your fans?
So really, it's just going to make our lives a whole lot easier when we're putting this together. It's also nice that we don't have a cable for each single fan. We're going to have what? 1, 2, 4 different sections of fans in this case. So essentially, we're going to have about 4 cables for 10 fans, which is awesome.
Also, that INTL is for Intel. There we go. There we go. Let's go with some RAM. We're going to ram some things into this board, and we're going to go with 2 32 gig G skills for DDR5 5600, total of 64 gigs across 2 channels, which is awesome. We're going to plug those into channel 2 and channel 4. If you're building your own PC, make sure that's how you start. And we had somebody ask, a Ryzen 3, I just need to upgrade. Honestly, you guys build custom order PCs? Absolutely. This is a custom order PC.
Yeah, this one.
You haven't been there. Check it out. clxgaming.com. That's where you want to go. Once again, for those of you who might have missed it, it's INTL. That's short for Intel. Dash IFIV. Indigo. Foxtrot Indigo Victor. Now, one thing that's really cool about things not named Victor, let's talk about what he's going to be putting down right now. This is an M.2 slot, but it has a very, very unique way of cooling your M.2. And I'll let Zach explain about that once he gets the sticker off.
Yes, so this motherboard has a nice little heat riser. So it's like it has its own heat sink for whatever NVMe sits on our port here. So whatever drive we put down is going to be very, very cold.
Here we go. Yeah, I think it's ingenious, if I'm being completely honest. Now, as for, oops, there's a button. See, once you get that screwed down, there are also multiple other places that you can get it. You can have up to 3 different M.2s.
3 more.
So
yeah.
3 more, which is awesome. So it supports a total of 4, but yeah, you got that whole lower area down there, which is great. And on the that upper left-hand side, where you've got the heat sinks for the North Bridge, that and the I/O, I believe that lights up, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, this section up here, yes, it does.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. And once again, for all the people on the purple side, don't forget we are dropping codes on the green side today. If you'd like to know more about that, head on over to kick.com/clxgaming.
And this is how these fans go together, which is really awesome.
That seems so much easier than having to each one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Mr. Duck over on TikTok asks, regarding installing a game and then getting the blue screen of death constantly, anything I can do for that? Oh, do you have CrowdStrike on your?
Wait. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what error that blue screen is giving you. Typically, it's going to spit out like an error code, and then we can troubleshoot from there.
It's World of Warcraft? Oh.
You have a soldier that needs some help.
Our
comrade.
Our WoW companions.
Yeah, these guys are experts at WoW, so I was like, oh, well, here we go. It's no longer my conversation.
I love me some classic WoW.
I heard the echo but couldn't use it because it was in a raid, and now I don't remember it anymore. Oh, heard the code. I don't know why I said echo. Good Lord. Once again, that code was INTL-IFIV.
Right? No. Yeah, I already talked about it. Perfect. Thanks, Paul. You know which one's on mine. Nice.
The cool thing about this case is we're going to be able to have 10 chassis fans. These are D30 120s, which is great. Now, there's different sizes of fans for those who are wondering. How do those work?
Yes, this is your standard 120 millimeter fan here. Most PCs that you see are going to have 120 millimeter fans for their case. The next common one is going to be a 140, which is a slightly bigger version of this. Now, if you do want 140s in your build, there are AIOs that will fit 140 millimeter fans as well. So you'll look for, a 140, a 280, and so on for those.
Quick question about... So, Bearded Fellow mentions that I'm coming up on a thermal replacement after about 3 years. I barely played on it. What type of thermal paste would you recommend and why?
So if you're wanting to go like top of the line, what we really like here for that stuff is Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. They make a really good thermal paste. If you just need like a standard one, Arctic Silver is really good. That's what we use on most of our builds here. It's Arctic Silver 5. There's been new generations. But there's a few other good options out there, but those are the two I'd recommend.
Fire Hazard asks, what's the RSI and spool codes? Well, I'll tell you what, we haven't dropped any yet today. but I'm sure we'll let you know. What we did do is we had our wonderful leader extraordinaire. It is Find Nicole here. Said just popping in to drop a little code. It's SNGL, that's short for single, LPZA, Lima, Papa, Zulu, Alpha. So the first four is SNGL, Sierra, Nevada. Good luck. Get it because it's a GL. Never mind.
Are you doing
All
a
right.
push-pull config on the radio?
Good question, Jeremy. Yep. The question is for everybody who's watching. Are you guys doing a push-pull config on that radiator or just that single row of fans?
We will just be doing the push through the radiator here. Now a push-pull, for those of you who don't know, is having fans on both sides of the radiator. So you're pushing air through while simultaneously pulling it through. It's not super common in builds, but it's definitely a thing that can be done, and it does increase your cooling by a lot. So I know we did that for DJ's build. He's got a push-pull on that system behind him.
A brave Ferengi. That is awesome. That is a great Star Trek reference. Are the codes only over voice now? On Tuesdays, they're on the green side. There we are. Now, one really cool thing is you can kind of see underneath where the radiator is. You'll notice that the AIO, that the IO portion of the motherboard is sitting above the back of the case. So with this, we kind of call this a 3/4 build or a 2/3 build. Why is that?
So that's because our motherboard is going to sit about 3/4 of the way down in the case. And what that does is leave us with all this room back here, like we talked about a little bit ago, for extra storage options. Our power supply is going to be back here. We're going to be able to do all of our cable management and have a bunch of room for that as well.
You guys are building a PC for free. No, we're building a PC for our friend Scott in Colorado. Now, as you can see, we've got Zach screwing in everything for the board to be attached to the standoffs with little metal nubbins. How does that help or protect the motherboard?
Yeah, so what the standoffs do is they separate the motherboard from the frame of the chassis. So we don't want our motherboard sitting directly on the frame of the chassis. That causes shorting out. This is a really good shot to see what those standoffs do. So those kind of silver pieces you see in between the motherboard and the case. And so that is where our motherboard is going to mount to, those screws that Zach's putting in there. And you definitely want to make sure you've got all those in the right spots. If you're missing one, it's not the end of the world. But if you have an extra one and it's touching the board where it shouldn't be, that can cause shorting out, which could cause a whole bunch of different issues.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
So this is our exhaust fan, Zach. So
Correct.
this cable is going to go in our input, right?
Correct.
Because it's just going to, this is going to be
Yes.
the one fan that's all on its own.
Got better cable management? Yes, absolutely.
Putting these things in
I
always
usually
stresses
don't-
me out. These clips.
Yeah.
So, John Shed Mobile mentions, I usually don't do a push-pull on 30mm radiators, 45 to 58mm radiators only. What size is mine? Because we did a push-pull on mine.
Yeah, you have a 360 on yours, DJ.
Okay. Yeah, we did a push-pull in here, and we put it up and down. It's the strength of the air draw is ridiculous. I have to pin my green screen to the back of the wall, otherwise it just sucks it right up. John Pierce is so excited for y'all to build mine on Thursday. I'm happy too. Deborah Schultz, you guys are awesome. Thanks, Deborah. I appreciate it greatly.
We're excited too.
Yeah, definitely excited. Once again, if the code starts with SWOL, S-W-O-L, or INTL, which is short for Intel, then that means it's for the Star Wars build. That S-W-O-L stands for Star Wars Outlaws. And then, of course, VPRL, RSIs, and MTSMs are all for the MS Tech giveaway with Star Citizen, which I'm happy to play. Be happy to finally play it on Saturday. I'm glad I'm not. Actually, I should probably look. I don't believe I'm DJing this weekend, which is going to be good. Yep, nope, not DJing this weekend. Heck yeah. So lots of games. If the code starts with VPRL, such as VPRL-WERT, W-E-R-T, it's for the MTSI giveaway. Well done, Ivory. Once again, this is for the MS Tech giveaway with Star Citizen. It is VPRL, Victor, Papa, Romeo, Lima, dash word. Whiskey Echo Romeo Tango. Alrighty, now we're getting this all in there. Perfect. Something to note on these is the filtration screens down on the bottom. As you can see right there where those fans are going to go, that's going to suck air up, but it's going to be highly filtered. Paul, how does that work and how do you clean them?
Yeah, so most cases will have a dust filter on them nowadays. So this bottom one here is really easy to show you. So this just slides out of the case. You can wipe this down, do whatever you need to do, and then just toss it right back in.
Cosworth has a great question. It says, would a push-pull be the recommendation for an i9 and R9 processors for overall reliability?
So, you could definitely just have a push method going through that, but if you've got the fans and the budget and the room in your case to push-pull it, yeah, that's going to be even better. It's going to allow them to stay at their boost speeds a lot more than without. But, a 360 is what I would recommend on a processor like that, a 360 AIO.
Okay. Now we're getting this thing screwed up to the very, very top. This is going to allow for air to be exhausted out of the system and blow right out the top. How mine does. I just died in raid trying to focus on the code and still don't remember it. Oh no.
Not worse.
Well, and Ivory just mentioned, and likewise, if it starts with SWOL, it is Star Wars Outlaws. And that would be like, for example, if they, oh my God, this is great. SWOL, Star Wars Outlaws dash V4DR. That is not V4 Doctor. That's short for Vader. That is Victor, the number 4, Delta Romeo. That is your code for a swole code over here on the green side. Oh yeah. We have 8 days left in this giveaway, which is absolutely incredible. I'm over here trying to plan how many codes I'm going to give out on my stream, just to make sure we get them all out on time. It's gonna be fun. It's going to be close. And I will have codes this afternoon on my stream. So definitely hop by when you're done.
What are you going to play today, DJ?
I believe I'm going to play a brand new game called the Skur Ritual.
Okay, I have not heard of that.
It's a new horror game. You know me, I love horror games. I love to scream exceedingly loud.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now feeding those wires too. The one thing that's really cool about this also is you can see right there all the little rubber grommets. Now those are designed so that you're not just having open holes sitting anywhere. It also helps with isolating airflow. So the grommets stay right where they are. You can plug things in, push the wires through there. Now, Paul, when it comes to air cooling and how that works, why is it important to separate that back area from the front?
So there's a couple reasons for that. Now the components that we're going to put in the back side of this, like power supply, if we had any extra drives, stuff like that, those are going to generate a small amount of heat, and so keeping that heat outside of the main body of the case is always going to be beneficial. The other reason for me is going to be the cable management. It's going to make the build inside look better, and it's even going to look better on the back side with this nice smooth channel where we're going to hide all the cables.
Nice. Excellent. Who all's going to be getting Star Wars Outlaws? I know I am.
I'm undecided right now.
Really?
I'm a Trekkie.
Oh. I love it all. Lalaris asks, I want to know, why do I have to put RAM into 2 and 4 slots? Why is it not simpler like 1 and 2?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you definitely could put it in 1 and 2, and theoretically it should work, but it's not going to perform as well as if you have them in 2 and 4. And the reason for that is because these motherboards have dual channels for the memory slots. So you can, basically by putting them in slot 2 and 4, you're accessing both sticks of RAM essentially at the same time. It makes everything faster. Now your motherboard manual is going to, that's going to tell you exactly where to put it for your specific motherboard. We just say 2 and 4 because 99% of the time that's what it is, but always look at your motherboard manual if you want to know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I've I've asked as well, just because I didn't know. Okay, getting that screen on there. Now, the thing that he's attaching right now, well, I guess maybe not just attaching right now, is that you notice the little bar with the little holes in it on the side, on the lower side? That is actually part of an anti-sag bracket, which helps keep the graphics card level. How does that work, Paul, and why is that?
Yeah, so this is a 7900 XTX for our graphics card. So it's going to be a larger card. We'll get that out of the box here in a minute just so you guys can see. But it is a larger card. So with these larger cards, over time, if there isn't any support on this side of the case, they'll start to sag down, and that can cause damage to your motherboard, the card itself, damage to the PCIe slot. And so to prevent that, we have these anti-sag brackets, and this gives the card support on the other side of the case. That way it's stays level and doesn't cause anything to break.
Question coming in from the TikTok side. Paul Jr. says, what would be a good PC to run a high FPS in Fortnite? I would be switching from a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, so depending on what resolution you're at is going to be another big question there. If you're playing at 1080p, most entry to mid-level PCs are going to be able to play Fortnite at very high frame rates at 1080p, and some even at 2K. But once you start going up to the 2K, 4K, and so on resolutions, that's when you'll need a more powerful PC to get really high frame rates.
Yeah, definitely. You said your internet speed is 35 to 45 megs. I'm going to be very honest. I am so sorry. Until you get FTTP. Interesting. Now, as far as fans go, we're going to have a whole bunch of them in here. We're going to have 3 on the back. We're going to be pushing air in. Pulling air in, 3 on the bottom, pulling air in from the bottom and pushing it upwards, and then our 3 on the top plus 1 on the back for a total of 10 fans. Gertina, welcome. Thank you so much. I'm finally up in time for the stream. Me too. You need a computer to play Star Citizen, Fire Hazard says? Yes. Love it. Love it. It is grand. Now, when it comes to the fans, how easy is it to... Have you ever accidentally flipped the D30s in the wrong... Got picked up a reverse and put it in as though it was a forward?
When we were first getting these, I definitely did that before. But once you get used to seeing them, the pitch of the fan blades is really... you notice it pretty easily once you get used to them. But yeah, if you haven't worked with them before, it definitely can be confusing.
Yeah. Okay. One of the cool things also is all of the case wires on this are white, and I'm going to take a look and see what we decided to do for our power supply. Ah, yes. I wonder if they decided to have any cable mods. I don't believe they did. So one thing you can do when you're building your computer, if you really want to keep with a color theme or a lack of color theme, it's always important to consider whether or not you're going to get cable mods. Paul, what are cable mods?
So Cable Mod is a brand that is an aftermarket sleeved cable company. So what they do is they make cable kits for all the different power supplies, EVGA, Corsair, I'm sure there's others out there as well, and they will custom sleeve the cables to any color you want. They've got a lot that are pre-done, so you can get them, if you've got a white build, you get them in white, you get them in orange, blue, pink, green. There's even some cable kits that have RGB on them as well. So it's just a nice aesthetic finishing touch to your build. Doesn't add anything to it performance wise, but it makes it look really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I got them and I love them. They're super great. Jacob Hutchinson says, see, whoop, nope, just that somehow. All right, that's not there anymore. I bought a PC from you guys 4 years ago. Nice, Bloopy. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Glad to hear it. I mentioned you have to kickstart one of the fans, but otherwise it works splendidly. Well, you can always give a ring over to customer service. You have lifetime technical support and customer service. So, with for any system. Now, while we've got it at this perspective, without changing the angle, Paul, can you walk us through what's on the bottom front of this case?
Yeah, so on the bottom of this case, this is our kind of I/O for the case. So we've got 4 USB 3.0s, 1 Type-C, and then a headset and mic port down there. So plenty of connectivity down there on the front.
Awesome. Now on the back, we've got this little panel up here that you can see.
Coming out in the right way. I was wondering, like, okay, where do we want the cables to come out? You know, but then I'm like, well, maybe we don't even have that many options. It's either that way or reversed, right? So,
is there one way that works better than the other?
So the way I usually look at a system when it comes to how I want to route my cables internally is I'm looking at it from your guys' perspective. Where is a cable going to be more seen? On this tray, if I have it laying like this, it's going to be back there. Or if we have it like this, then you will be seeing it. Yes, it's going to be well hid, but it is at your perspective. So you'll see that compared to seeing, that went fine.
these things love to pop off.
Compared to seeing that, so that's a lot cleaner of a look. So
I'm so scared to break like the clips that connect them, because I think the first time on the show we were doing this, I totally broke one of the clips. It's like, ooh, yeah, you gotta really force them in. But
John from Mobile also says, don't forget to mention Cable Mods also make custom length cables for extreme customs builds like SFX. Yes, that is true.
or
We're here at
if you
Dog,
get
first time messaging. Hello, welcome to the show, my friend.
fantastic.
Says, I can't decide. Right now, I've got a Radeon 6750 XT.
Okay.
I don't want to go NVIDIA due to pricing, because I'm up in Canada, and even a 4070 Super is over $800. So they're going with 7700 XT or the 7800 XT. As for a CPU, they're on a Ryzen 5700X 3D.
okay, so yeah, so that Ryzen 5700X 3D, if you're just doing some gaming, that's a solid processor for that. I think that's going to be really good for years to come. So if you're wanting something that's going to last longer, obviously the 7800 XT is going to perform better than the 7700 XT. So if you can, go with the 7800, but that 7700 XT is not a bad card by any means.
Nice. You wish summer was over already? Man, I'm glad it's here. I had to work outside at the block party this weekend on Saturday, and thank heavens the DJ station was covered, but it felt like it was over 100 because of the heat index and all the humidity in the air. Wow, I sweat so much I think I lost weight. It was just madness. Fire hazard in the house. Is the MTSM code out yet? I don't know, Fire Hazard. Is it?
Is your refrigerator running?
Right. Yeah, super hot in the last 2 weeks in Alberta. Oh, I can imagine.
Alberta, the Canadian Texas.
All of Jasper National Park was evacuated last night? What? Oh my gosh. That's wild. Over on the TikTok side, Bloopy mentions, I'm also Canadian. I got really lucky when I bought from you guys my 3060 Ti. They go for $200 more when I bought mine than when I bought mine now.
Wow.
Ale Tattoos, random. Do you people usually connect dual PC setups to the same circuit breaker? I have been keep having issues. Oh, I don't. I have two separate GFCI plugs. Is that what it is? GFCI?
Yeah, ground fault circuit interrupters. Hey.
Yeah. When I rewired the studio,
bars
I
like
did,
we know them.
I
Look
did
out.
two separate outlets so that if something happened, it pops. But yeah. So what kind of issue are you having there, Tattoos?
That can definitely cause issues if both PCs are pretty powerful and they're pulling a lot out of the wall. We've seen that in our own testing here. We'll have like a big order, plug them all in and trip a breaker because they're all like super high-end
Everything's
builds.
pulling.
It's like, whoop, we got to separate these out a little bit. So You probably don't have like any major issues going on there. They're probably just a little bit too powerful for that. So
Using all those in that one. Okay.
yeah, I think there's gonna be. Well, actually, I do have some extras there. I could have put those on there. Sorry about that. Did I give you 4?
3. I only need 3.
Oh, you only, okay. Oh, right,
Yeah,
because the power one coming off. I feel like my 5-year-old child playing with a Lego set right now.
Aren't they?
That's half the fun, though.
It is. It is fun. I'm just trying not to break them.
Expensive Legos.
Yeah, you're right.
These are the Tectonic Legos.
The Bionicles in the cans. Oh, man. Dude, those are worth some money now.
Yup.
Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, my gosh, Turdog mentions that, yeah, the entire town site, all the campsites, everyone was get out and go west of the BC. Yeah, the fire season is starting. We had on Sunday the strangest thing happen. When we get thunder, we'll hear a little rumble every now and then, and it's not often that you get thunder and lightning especially in the Pacific Northwest in Portland.
Very frightening.
However, as I'm talking with my friend on the phone, it cracked right over the top of the house, and it struck over in about 14 blocks down. Yeah, it was nuts.
Did you chase after it? Get the pot of gold?
No, it popped Thomas's circuit breaker.
Ooh.
Which he's talking. He's like, everything in my house just went weird. He's like, did you hear that? It sounded like a bomb went off. Nope, it was just thunder, and the thunder was incredibly loud, incredibly close for like a good hour. It was wild. So I was very happy. It's like, hey, I love thunder. Thunder's a cool thing. My dogs, however, not fans. Not fans at all.
I don't like that thunder.
Not even remotely.
No, the puppy doggies, the poor puppies.
Bluetooth says, I've been wanting to upgrade my RAM, but I can't find Patriot RAM. Can I buy it from you guys? I don't believe we sell individual components. At least not at this time. And then John Kemp Mobile. John Kemp Mobile.
I think it's good.
Says, I turn my PC into an air conditioner distribution box, so the duct from the AC in the bedroom goes directly into the back of the PC, period. All 3 radiators, and liquids usually run at 18 degrees Celsius. That's kind of genius, dude. That's kind of genius. Sounds like you live close to where I live. Yeah, I'm in Portland, so that's not a secret. PDX is literally in my name. I had somebody go, aren't you worried about being doxxed? It's literally in my gamer tag. You had nearly been hit by it? My gosh. That was the one thing I loved whenever I would visit my grandparents down in Texas was they had a canopy. No, they had a like a canopy you'd put on a back of a truck and was clear, covered like dome. And so I would go and get my sleeping bag and lay down and watch the lightning because I'd never seen lightning like that. The storms were wild.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'll need like all of those too.
Okay. These cables right here,
Condensation.
because this is how we're going to chain them all
because
together.
It's not a
Fantex case.
So
Okay.
Yeah. People does mention condensation can be bad. When we were doing Outpost Discovery in Philadelphia, I think it was 114 degrees while we were setting the show up, and they wouldn't turn the AC on, and it was easily in the high 90s as we were setting the whole show up. And once we got it all set up, everything was set, and I didn't think about the fact that the giant HVAC pipes were going right over our Xbox Play Arena. We walked in, and the AC was on that morning, and it was nice and cool, except for the fact that the condensation dripped off onto an entire row of Xboxes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That
was
sounds
nice.
like a security oversight.
Got to get that waterproof Xbox edition.
Right? But out of all of them, we only lost one, which was interesting. Oh my gosh. Invested into EcoFlow portable ACs. That's possible. I monitor his USB port. Can use them for mouse and keyboard so they can be in the PC. Nice. Awesome. Good to know. Yes, MT Pro, we've been giving them out over on the green side. That is the green side. We're gonna be doing that. Tuesdays we drop them on the green side. Thursdays on the purple side. Kick and twist. That's where we drop them. Otherwise, you can listen for them, and I will read them out as they come through. But I'm not keeping track of them. Maybe I should do that so I can say them out. But you know what? If you ask somebody in the kick chat very nicely, I'm sure that they would be happy to help. In how many years are there going to be less cables in PCs? I think this is too much.
What are you talking about? We've got 10 fans and only 4 cables. That's amazing.
Yeah,
nice.
like it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, these D30 fans are definitely a step in the right direction. So.
There we go.
Okay, well that's cool that I can DZ it.
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh wow, Teardog says, I was camping with a bunch of people kayaking. Thunderstorm came in the middle of the night and I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand. So I looked to my left and boom, it struck within 30 feet of your tent. That is...
Yo.
That is time. Big old bag of nope. Big old bag of nope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're getting all these set up. Now, what are some cool things about those two hard drive bays?
So they've got trays that come out the back. Or no, sorry, they swing out. Yeah, this is the new version. So they swing out.
They are quick release.
So I think it's kind of cool that they swing out. But when you're building it and moving it around, they do kind of come out a little bit. Same thing with this door, but it is what it is.
Hayden Servage says, I'm hoping that my build looks this sleek. Oh, I guarantee you, it's going to look good. It's going to look good. Green-Eyed Lioness over on the TikTok sides. I love you guys. The PCs legit had mine for almost 3 years. Love all your hard work. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
B-Tone says, wall mount is great, but they tend to be open, so be ready for dust. True. And Artigo Boom says, that's what I was thinking too. Definitely have to keep canned air on hand. Yeah, definitely. Real Baby Deer, hi. I've said this a couple times. They're given out on the green side. That is our Kick channel on Tuesdays. We'll be dropping them on Thursdays on the Twitch side. But I do read them out. So if anybody's wondering, John Chan Mobile has just dropped everything so far.
Yeah, because they all have daisies.
That's awesome.
I'll read them all so everybody can hear them one more time. INTL-IFIV and SWOL-V4DR. Those are for the Star Wars giveaways. And then for the for the Star Citizen giveaway, we have SNGL, LPZA, and then, of course, VPRL-Works. That is WERT. Here we go. Oh, Lolaris, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. Okay. I do love that little door on the back. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at this graphics card, because this is going to be fun. This is an AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX, and it's a gigabyte card. It's really smooth. One of the things I love is when they close the back end of it, so that it's not just open. It looks sleek from the side of it. I dig it. They did a great design with it, and it's a triple fan. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about this graphics card.
Yes, this is a 2-slot, like I said, 7900 XTX. This is a 24 gig card, so plenty of VRAM on this. I like this card because it's still a 2-slot, so it's somewhat thin, but it does have some weight to it. So we definitely will be using that anti-sag bracket that we talked about a little bit earlier that Zach installed. 2 8-pins for our power, which I like. That'll be really easy to do. And then we have 2 display ports and 2 HDMI on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I am glad that it's always weird because on NVIDIA's, they default to the HDMI as the first primary port. Like, Do you have to?
Yeah, it's nice from a testing perspective. That way you don't have to have like a, a DisplayPort monitor to use. But yeah, it does sound a little strange, I think.
John Chen mentions, I run an RX 7900 XTX FE water cooled in my gaming rig.
Okay.
Much better than the 4080 Super in rasterization. Interesting observation. Okay. Speaking of rasterization, let's raster our way over to our power supply. I'm not sure how you raster. It's kind of like a waddle, but there you go.
Rastering right now.
For our power supply, we are going to be using a 1,000 watt Corsair HX 1000 80 plus Platinum. Now, Platinums are not something we see commonly. Usually it's bronzes or gold. So can you go over what the different levels are and why they are important when you're picking out a power supply?
Yes, that 80 plus rating is the efficiency rating of the power supply. So to just get a base 80 plus rating, the power supply's got to be 80% efficient at 3 different loads, typically between 10 and 20%, 50%, and 100%. And then as you go up the tier, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, titanium, the more efficient they get. So you see a lot of platinum, titanium power supplies, those really high-end ones, and a lot of crypto mining rigs because they're really trying to optimize the amount of power they're pulling out the wall versus what they're making. In a gaming thing, if your system's more efficient, it's going to probably save you a couple bucks on your energy bill. It's not going to be anything huge, but we definitely recommend going with at least 80 plus bronze or higher.
Awesome. Cool. And this, of course, doesn't have any cables in it. Why is that?
Yeah, that is because this is a fully modular power supply. So we've got our cables right here that come separate. Then our power supply has these ports on the back that we can plug our cables into. So we won't be using all these ports. These higher wattage power supplies come with a whole bunch. We hardly ever see all of them used, but we're just going to separate out the cables we need for this build, plug them in, and then we'll put the rest in the accessories bag. That way if the customer ever upgrades later, they've got them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then we just got to get the stickers off.
Yeah, the good old peels.
Now,
Always a peel on this.
Zach, what is that door for?
So if you see all these different holes, these are mounting bays for hard drives. So other than our 4 bays here, we can have SSDs mounted out on here. So that just adds extra storage for storage, and then it also is a door for our cable management, so we can have everything well hidden and then just kind of have it all closed up. So it kind of helps with the airflow and stuff, because these fans here, yes, we do see the back, but these are sucking air in, and then we are going to be slapping the power supply in here, which will also be bringing air in as well.
There you go. Left a whole bunch of crud on there when I pulled that off.
Got the bed.
I did get a question coming in from Latios over on the YouTube side. It says, how do you guys deal with a customer that comes telling you about coil whine in a graphics card? Do you take a chance to replace it, or is it something to deal with, or underboard?
So that's just going to depend on those components itself, which card it is, what kind of fans are there. Our support team is really great at tackling all that stuff, so it'd just be depending on the exact case, but yeah, they would get it taken care of.
Awesome. But that is the nice thing about the this power supply is that it comes with it's threaded, it's braided,
breaded and
so
ready to fry.
Yep. But instead of just having the raw cables, you got their sleeve. That's what I was looking for. The word is sleeve. How many PC builders do you have at CLX? Good question.
The number fluctuates a bit, but we've got a good amount.
Nice.
I'm working on CPU next, Zach, so.
What are these fans?
Dadzilla says, spit on it, Zach.
Yeah.
It'll fit.
Haktua.
Yeah.
Oh, God. God.
We were just talking about a Haktua build before we went live.
Haktua graphics card coming next year, guys. Yep. It's going to be a liquid-cooled graphics card.
Keep it cool.
The 5090 Haktua edition.
Dear Lord.
Hey, and if
Right.
who's graphics card manufacturer? If P&Y, Zotac,
Gigabyte,
Asus. If any of you guys need to use that idea, please,
Inquire.
give credit where credit's due.
Once again, I keep getting a lot of questions about where the codes are being dropped. The codes are being dropped on the green side, which is our Kick channel today. Thursday will be over on the Twitch side. So I say them out each time, but if you got to catch it when to catch it. Otherwise, we have some really great community members that have been sharing it back and forth. So check in with one of them. What are you laughing at?
Chat.
LA artist code.
Full Gatorade?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that one's good. Imagine that at MSTM dash. That would be funny. I'm not saying it's not a real one. RSI or MTSM today? Well, we've given out for the MT Tech. We've given out so far, I believe, just a VPRL. We've had several Star Wars ones. AutoStorm, those are not codes.
And Jimmy, we're always looking for good people to join our team, so you can definitely reach out. Go on our website. At the bottom, there should be a careers page you can click on and apply there, and let us know.
Yes. What? Oh. Yeah, we have the.
Please go back.
The Lightbot does not happy when there's
Nice.
any type of a link put in there unless it's a mod. I'm in Florida. You guys not here? No. We are the studio and our main operations is in Wichita, Kansas. Yep.
SATA cables, how many do you need, Zach?
I need 3 right now.
3?
2 for hard drives, 1 for the case.
Okay. This one's got 4 on it.
No things for the fans.
These fans are great.
Yeah.
We love these D30 fans.
Yeah, they make things a heck of a lot easier. Now, one thing I want to talk about with this is the airflow. So you've got 3 in the back, 3 on the bottom, and then you've got 4 exhaust, which is going to make this system positive pressure. For those of you who don't know what a positive pressure system is, I will leave it to Paul.
Alrighty, so what positive pressure means is we have more air coming into the system than we do coming out. So more intake fans than exhaust. And the reason we want that is because if we have them set up the opposite way, that would be a negative pressure, so more air leaving the system than coming in. That creates a vacuum inside of the system, and so that will suck in dust and all sorts of other stuff and all little cracks and crevices, and it'll get around those filters and cause your system to dirty up a little quicker. So it's not the end of the world if your PC is already set up in a negative pressure system. Performance wise, it should perform very similar to a positive pressure, but if you're putting it together, it's always best to go on the positive side.
Oh, John, you were referring to just getting into PC building as a job in general? I mean, let's be honest, it's relaxing for the most part.
Well, just move here to Wichita.
Yep. So I can share let me do this. I can share the link here in just a second. This. And then share.
It's a cute little bag of zip ties.
Right. Corsair, man, they know how to do it.
They're doing it.
Here we go. If you want to see exactly what's in here, there's your list. And Beacon, the reason it looks like this is because this is the way the customer ordered it.
Cool.
I think this customer did a very nice job with their config, going above and beyond with selecting
Yeah.
the D30 fan is going to make it look really nice at the end. Oh,
Yeah,
geez,
that's actually
Dadzilla.
very true.
I forgot that I was on that careers page. That was way back in the day, so many years ago. I think it was before kids. You can probably see it on my face.
So once again, I'm getting a lot of questions over here. I know we're on broadcasting on a lot of platforms right now, but we drop codes on the Kick channel, kick.com/clxgaming on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, we do it over at twitch.tv/clxgamingtv. I'm about to make a command for it, so just a little more
There you go.
obvious.
It's totally understandable, John. Being close to family is what's important.
Yep. Two.
2, yeah, I like that, right?
We're just like
It's a giant card, but it's not a 3, 4, 5 slaughter.
Two
It's
8
great.
pins.
2 8-pin. It was like the good old days right here.
Right.
Good. Jeez.
Give it a little.
Here's a question for you: is the Star Citizen giveaway available for shipping in North Africa? If you head on over to that page, you'll see a list, and it'll tell you exactly where it's available. Yeah, this is gorgeous. Now, with regards to a anti-sag bracket, how does that work, and why is it necessary?
Yeah, so at the top of your screen there, you guys can see the anti-sag bracket that we installed when we were first putting the board in. So there's a little button on the side. Zach's going to adjust that here in a little bit. But we're going to grab the other part of it. So many brown boxes. So essentially we've got this slider right here. Like I said, Zach will show you how this works in a bit, but this button will come in, it'll slide up and give support to the card on this side. Because obviously all the video cards are supported back here. This is where the main screws for mounting your card go in on this side, but we want to give it some support back there. So there we go at that.
Okay.
And these ones, this is kind of a different one than what we usually use. I really like this because it's just so easy to adjust. Push that button in, and it just slides up. So very nice.
On top, there's a little nub there too, so like it can't go up. And so like from here, it can only go down, and then you just push our button in and push up. Then it's fully secured.
That is so much nicer. Good grief. Again,
Brought to you by
brilliant.
the engineers over at Landley.
Well
There we
done,
go.
Leon Lee. Well done.
Yes, kudos. All right.
Let's do.
So we're getting closer.
Yep, we're getting pretty close. Plugging in our power connections to our video card right now. So like I said before, this is 2 8-pins. Now these cables that come with this power supply have an 8-pin and then an 8-pin pigtail on it. So you could plug both of these in with one cable. We think the power delivery is a little bit better if you use a separate cable for each one of those connections. So that's why we do it this way.
Okay, just making sure I'm not missing any questions over here. Yeah, Tensilla. I agree. All right, this and that. Yes, and and once again, that link that I posted in TikTok, Jack, is the link to look at the build, so you can see the price and everything. That's why I posted the link.
I know the artist, this motherboard does have 4 RAM slots. We are just using 2, but they are 2 32 gig sticks, so total of 64 gigs there. That way there's room for the customer to upgrade later on if they decide to.
Yeah, definitely. This looks really good. I'm digging it.
Yeah,
I'm also
I
going to
like
be
this
interested
build.
because with the white interior for the most part, the D30 fans are more subtle. They are not just screaming color, but I thought it was a really creative way to light up the blades. The GPU Nasty Oda wants to know what the GPU is. That is an AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX. It is a 24 gig graphics card. Well, in comparison to NVIDIA, where would that sit?
So this is going to be up there with NVIDIA. I'd have to look at some testing because it's going to depend on which game. Sometimes the Radeon cards perform a little better, but definitely on the high-end NVIDIA side, 4080, 4080 Super, something like that.
Nice. Nice. I like it. Mootkins, there was a VPRL earlier. Yep.
The old dust filter.
Yeah.
I'll get my fingerprints off of this.
Here we go.
And we'll get these panels installed.
Faster and raster than any NVIDIA cards, but in general, it'd be close to a 4080 Super, says BlueFab. Cool. Nice. These cable ties work differently. Can you show us how they work?
Which ones?
Yeah, the cable ties, like our zip ties, or there's a couple different options in here. I'll let you explain them. Man, this thing is a beast.
So tie-up is consisted in this case of zip ties, and then Lindley on this case, you can see kind of all that row of eyelets back there. They have these little metal brackets that allow you to route your cables through them, and then they have Velcro straps on the outside to route even more cables. With this Lindley case, it's kind of a mixture of some Velcro straps, some nice metal brackets, and then zip ties, compared to like a Fantex in V5 or 7 that has the Velcro straps and the plastic ribs. But these guys, they still use the rubber gussets going into the main frame. That is kind of a factory staple now across the cases. I think most companies have deemed that a clean, crisp look. So everybody's on board that boat.
Yeah, I like that.
Ice Cold Heart has a good question. I found that I ran out of USB ports on my 360 equipped system. What kinds of PCIe cards would you recommend to get more ports for things like VR or USB-C?
So there's a whole bunch of different ones you can get. I don't have a specific brand that I could recommend to you just because I haven't used anything like that. I know they exist. If you don't need anything that's like super fast, an easy solution could just be using a hub, maybe using that for your keyboard, mouse, something else. That way it frees up your other fast slots on your motherboard. You could use those for something else.
Speaking of something else, you know what I want to do? I want to take them to somewhere else for just a quick second and show you how you can get on an absolutely amazing PC from CLX Gaming. At clxgaming.com, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to get the PC of your dreams, and it's going to do what you need it to do. So you can choose from custom designs, various different sizes. We have sets, scarabs, Horus, and Raw. That goes from the tiny to giant, and they're everywhere. It's awesome. You can choose between all of your features that we get. We have Intel, we have AMD, we have Radeon, we have NVIDIA. You can choose RAM, M.2s, the whole 9 yards. If you want an open loop liquid system, we can do that too. We can also do closed AIOs. And as much as everybody feels like that's a little bit too much responsibility, don't worry. We have a foolproof system that makes sure that everything is compatible. So if you look up top, that button was green, now it's yellow. So when you click on that button, you're going to see that the video card that's been chosen is a 4090 OC, but the power supply is only a 750. So what it's going to do, and the system's going to say, okay, if you want to use this power supply, you're going to have to choose one of these graphics cards. But if you really want this graphics card, you're going to have to get one of these power supplies. Once you fix and solve the problem, it goes right back to green. You can move on in it. We offer overclocking services for your GPU and your CPU. You can even get upgraded thermal paste, which is a lot of fun. Extra hard drives, custom cabling, everything. Then we have our accessories page, and this is where it gets really fun. So not only can you get really cool t-shirts like this and windbreakers like you've seen us wear whenever we are touring around at your local gaming event or trade show, we also have the ability for you to get pretty much anything else that's going to make your entire system work. So you need keyboards, mice, controllers, headsets, mics, speakers, monitors. We've got it all. We've even got streaming gear like the Beacon mic and the Beacon Mix Create. We've also got capture cards, routers, and even better, we also have a chair. We have an option for chairs, 2 of them. So there we go. It's your one-stop shopping center for all things PC. And if you want to get something really quick, head on over to our RTS section. That is our ready to ship. These have been built, tested, and they are ready and waiting for a home. And who knows, that home might just be yours. I'm actually thinking about getting one myself just because I'm going to replace this little guy. So with that being said, for all of your future gaming PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you. Alrighty, gentlemen, we've got this hooked up and ready to go. How's it?
I like that angle,
Yeah,
Jason.
this is gonna be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Before we turn on, last question of the day. I have a RTX 3080 Founders. Is it worth upgrading to a 4090, or would I see that much of a difference for the price?
All right, so if you're not noticing any lack of performance in games that you're currently playing right now, I would wait to upgrade. That being said, if you're playing really high-end AAA titles in 4K, then you might consider going to a 4090, but that 3080 is still a solid card. I'm still using a 2080 Super. I play in 2K, and it's just now about getting to the time where I need to upgrade. So I think you're solid with that 3080 for a while.
All right, so now it's powered up. See what we've got going.
Dun.
Oh, that
Love
looks
these
so
fans.
good. Oh my gosh, that looks great. And while that is spinning up and turning on, and we're taking a look at that, let's go over one more time what's inside this incredible PC for Scott in Colorado. This is a Ryzen 9 7950X3D processor mounted on an Asus ROG Strix X670E motherboard with 64 gigs of DDR5 5600 and a Radeon RX 7900 XTX. It also has a 2 terabyte Samsung 990 Pro for its M.2, and of course we're going to be cooling that processor with a Fantex Glacier 1 360 D30 radiator AIO, which I absolutely love. And of course, we've got our 10 Fantex D30 fans on top of a 1,000 watt Corsair HX 1000 power supply. Congratulations, Scott in Colorado. We'll be getting this over to testing. Speaking of which, what does that mean?
Yeah, so since this machine is powered on, just like any computer that we build here, it goes to our integration and testing department. So that's where the first thing we do is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed's set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. So M.2s, 2.5 inch, 3.5 inch hard drives. And then after that, we actually load the system. So we'll load the operating system. If you picked any games on our website, that's where we would load those. If you didn't pick any games, you just get a fresh install of your operating system. We do not put any bloatware on these machines. We only put on there what you ask us to. And if there's something that you want us to load on there that isn't on our website, just give us a call when you order, and we can make sure to get that done. And then once everything's loaded, we put the system through a 12-hour burn-in or a stress test. Typically, we use 3D Mark as a benchmarking software for that, but there's a couple others that we can use. And what that does is really run the system through its paces. If there's a component that may be defective from the factory, it allows us to catch that there and make sure that you get a stable machine at home.
Nice, nice. All right, now, while we are finishing up just this build, this show, as usual, is going to go in 2 parts. In just a few minutes, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach as he builds more things. And who knows, there may be more codes. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 Eastern. You can find codes getting dropped on the Kick site at kick.com/clxgaming on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, it's at twitch.tv/clxgamingtv. To find out more about what's going on and keep up to date with the latest and greatest and finding codes, you want to head on over to our socials. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, because sometimes there are codes dropped there. And it's all at CLX Gaming. If you want to catch codes in our Discord, you might want to go over there. It's a great community, like-minded PC enthusiasts and gamers, and that is discord.gg/CLX Gaming. The other place you can find them is on my channel, and I will have codes today as well. So, with that being said, on behalf of Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up in just a few. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Diego. I am the youngest person in the U.S. to qualify for the regional championship. And now I am playing in the regional championship at Impact Dallas. A lot of ensuring a win is mostly just playing your cards right, evaluating the situation, and like, especially in this format, there can be a lot of different plays that you can make, and you have to evaluate which one would be better, which one helps me the most. So there's definitely a lot of skill involved. I need to win the next 5 rounds to be to qualify for day 2. If I do well enough there, the top 64 players of this event qualify for the Pro Tour, and qualifying for the Pro Tour is definitely my next big goal.
What is up, Scooby Gang? Welcome and enjoy the after party. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you had an amazing weekend. We've got a pretty fun build for us today. I'm going to be playing with a Republic of Gamers Strix B650E F edition with Wi-Fi on board. Our processor is going to be a Ryzen 9 7950 X-Ray. We are going to be slapping in 4 terabytes across a Samsung 990 Pro NVMe, all of the speeds. We have a total of 2 16 gigabit sticks, so 32 gigabits of 5600 megahertz, all of the speed. And we're going to cool that off with a sweet white RGB edition S-Tech liquid cooler, and cool everything with these nice RGB white fans and a 750 watt power supply and a 4070 graphics card if memory holds correct. Yes, 4070 12 gigabyte edition. Perfect. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome chat, welcome chat, welcome chat. I will do my very best to read chats. I've got Kick, I've got Twitch up. I also have some other ones, Facebook and Twitter in my ear. Yes, we have a stenographer. TikTok, we've got a stenographer in the back translating all of those chats for us. Give a shout out to Jason. 07's in chat for Jason. He's playing with expensive Legos. Yes, we are playing with some expensive Legos today. All of this is going to be installed into Fantex's NV5. This is the white edition. Yeah, go for YouTube.